What'd you do?
A smiley face.
You're a clown.
You're very welcome.
We will. Thanks. All right, there's a latte for you there, mate.
Thank you.
We got her. Nope, didn't get it.
Nope. It's always the head I messed up in the takeaway.
Oh, okay.
Here is your latte, sir. You're very welcome. Enjoy. Grab some shots for the two double espressos.
That was a bit of a rush. It's all got calm now.
Yeah, just in and amongst it.
Oh,
No, look at that. There's a cap with a dome. Good old school caps, hey? That's a Rory.
take it up.
I think he's upstairs, actually.
Yeah, take it up.
Yeah, sweet. Are we on?
You're on.
We're on. G'day, everyone. How are you today? It's a beautiful Wednesday morning. Just in and amongst it today. It's exciting times. Sun's out, a little bit fresh.
Very
We're looking fresh in the new hoodies and jumpers. What do you reckon? You like the new look? Try and mix it up every so often just to, you know, feel nice, feel good, have a bit of a new brand representation. This is a Ryan latte, isn't it? And a rod. All right. Double repeat. Let's see what we can do. So yeah, if you're just joining us, actually, we're just on anyway. Pop a comment down below if you've got a question. Look forward to answering those for you. Anything coffee, doesn't matter what it is. Could be baristering, machines, roasting, industry, cafe, or whatever. Pop it in there, and we'll start a bit of a conversation.
Terrence F88 wants to see a cortado.
Hey Terence, welcome back. Cortado.
Yeah, Terrence wants to see a cortado.
Cortado. We don't do really lots of cortados. It's not really something that is ordered here. For us, it's really all about piccolos.
It's not on our menu either.
No, not on our menu at all.
It's more of an American thing.
It is, yeah. It's a 1-to-1 ratio rather than a...
Is that for Rod?
Yeah, Rod can have that one. So piccolos is what we serve a lot of. Hey, how you going? Fire hoses probably, yeah, okay. The guys next door use it every day. Yeah. Sorry, leaky fire hose out the front there. So yeah, cortado is a 1-to-1 ratio. So just a little bit different. So we'd put a bit more strength into our little piccolos. There you go, Ryan. Little one for you, little latte.
Thanks, mate.
And we've got a cap for this man. Cap it up. Then we'll do... I'm going to make a cortado. So these are 90 mil, I think they are, aren't they? Piccolos. Can't tell. How do you tell if you don't want to know the volume of something? Measure it with some water. How much water weight you can have in it. Let's see how big it is so I get that measurement right for you. With a little bit of spillage. Yeah, 90s. Maybe fit another 5 gram in there, so it'd be 100. So you want to get a 50-50 ratio with milk and foam versus a espresso shot for a cortado. So We want to be really precise. Yeah, let's do real precise. Let's do it.
Here's your cappuccino.
Let's get our extraction. So 22.5 grams recipe here. So what we'll do, all right, we're gonna so 50 grams is what we're looking for. We've got 22.5 grams. The max we hit is 45, so we actually got to fall short in this cup. So it's a full double, but I can't fill it to make a proper recipe, technically. So if we put a double in this, which should be 45, 45 grams, and a little bit of milk, that would be our cortado. So you can see there's a lot of crema in volume that's being made there right now.
I think you're better off doing it in the latte.
Well, it's the size, it's a small drink. All right, so that should settle right down. So that in weight is 47 grams, but you can see the crema is now sinking. So to get the proper ratio on that, you want that crema to settle a little bit more. So we've got a volume challenge, obviously, with that amount of crema. And you can see it's settling a fair amount.
What was your name?
So that's going to be a super strong. Look at that. There's not even much room to put in that at all. Little funny.
Can you turn that music down, mate?
Funny little bird. Bird head, look at that. See, a little spiky bit. It's like an owl. That is a lot of crema to try and pour through. That is a solid coffee. Look at that dark that is. It's good. It's good. Used to drink a lot of those. Double shot lattes was the thing, and then good strong pick in the afternoon, the 3 o'clock double piccolo. But not much milk more for me not much milk for me anymore. Flat white, 1 sugar. All right. What's coffee has everyone had this morning? Has everyone made a coffee? Hopefully, well, it's this morning for us. It's probably like night time, whatever.
Terence said he should be in bed.
Should be in bed, yeah. No, you can use that. I was just getting organised for you. Yeah, it's probably pretty night time over there, isn't it? It's coming up to like 8 o'clock or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's if you're in the States, my understanding was it's like Father's Day this weekend or last weekend. So happy Father's Day to everyone. I only know that because we're starting to ship into the US, and we saw all this advertising come to us about Father's Day, and we're like, how's this September? Why are we seeing Father's Day stuff? So it's very interesting. And that's what we've got to get organised about, these different times and throughout the year of how we can support sales and opportunities happening in US and Canada at the moment. So
Terence says 20 past 11.
20 past 11 at night.
Yeah, you should be in bed, mate.
You should be in bed, mate. Or have another coffee and enjoy the night hours. 20 past 11, that's so late. Anyway, I'm in bed by 10 o'clock at the latest.
Ethan said you're boring.
I'm boring. Thanks, man. I am concentrating on coffee at the moment. Give us a question coming from boring. Test me out. What are we gonna
test his coffee knowledge?
Test my coffee knowledge.
Let's go.
Anything.
Let's
go on.
Give him the hard ones.
Give us some Q&A, some hard stuff.
Let's press him.
Yep. We do have a big day today, actually. We are shooting another YouTube video coming up this afternoon. We've got a guest coming in, do a bit of an interview, talking about packaging, Eco Barista. Zach's coming down. So they're the supply that we use. So the cups are home compostable, and the packaging is compostable and biodegradable as well. So just really trying to talk about that message. So that'll be cool to hang out with him today. And I'm going on holidays. So for 3 Wednesdays, unless Jimmy's going to do live, you work it out with him.
I'll just go live.
Yeah, you go live. Ryan will go live. Ryan will go live. I won't be doing
What time
live.
does the shop close? Tough question.
4:30.
4:30.
4:30. So 6:30 to 4:30, Monday to Friday. We are open every day of the year, other than
Here we go.
public
We
holidays.
got one. What
Come
do you
on, questions.
recommend for dialing in a light roast with a milk-based
Bo?
recipe?
No, Bo. There you go. Flat white, and that's the one sugar one. Cheers, mate. Dialing for a light recipe.
So what do you recommend for dialing in a light roast with a milk-based recipe?
Yeah, for sure. So we use this grinder over here for all of our light-based, or alternative, I should say. So if you've got your main blend running in a hopper grinder, we use the ZM here, and we've got everything all in dosing pots. So that allows us to change recipe, but also change our beans. So we've got our decaf, our current single of the month, which is our Adrian Lasso, which is our light roast. And then you'd have our fixed blend and delicate as well. So they're all different recipes. But what we do is the recipe is based around your grinder and the equipment you've got. So when we get onto this grinder, or like an EK, we do find the end of a shot gets really, really fast. So no matter how fine you go on a single dosing grinder with light roast, things like that, the tail end can just speed up really, really quick. And whether you want that to happen or not is up to you and your taste profile. So we find that we reduce, instead of a 2 to 1, we go a little bit shorter. So in a full double, if we're putting 22.5 grams in on our blend, will be 45 grams. But we find anything through this grinder, we have to bring back to 40 grams because it does speed up so quick at the end there, and it really starts to wash out the flavour. So yeah, it's not quite the 2 to 1. What is it, a 2 to 1 point? I have to work out the maths, but 1.18 possibly. But we actually increase the dose here as well by 0.5 of a gram. So we're 23 grams in here rather than 22.5 because it is finer, better particle sizes, faster flow rates, and yeah, 40 gram end yield. All of our coffees do have that on our brew guides. So with our light roast or our singles every month, you'll see here you'll have an espresso, a batch brew, a pour over, and a cold brew recipe that we've worked on for you as well. So yeah, there you go. This one's actually changed a little bit. It's interesting. 22 gram dose. It is a 2 to 1, 44 gram and 30 seconds. So lowering the dose on this one has, Ben's found that's a little bit tastier. So there you go. Hope that answered your light roast question.
Next question for you.
Yes.
Why don't you WDT? Slows down workflow or not required?
Yeah, required is definitely a big conversation, but definitely slows it down in the bar. So if you have a look over the last couple of weeks, we've been playing with the Navigator. Have you got the Navigator up there? It's down here, yeah. So that's probably the question that we've been talking about. Your WDT needling tools, like, yeah, it just takes a lot of time, right, to use these little things every single day in a bar, in a cafe. So we're trying to not do that, but in home, highly recommend that. You're gonna get 40% or so more TDS or solids in your actual coffee, so that'll be cool. So definitely get yourself one of those. I'd buy that over any other tool to fix anything with espresso straight away. You're gonna get more flavor, you're gonna get more consistency in your flow rate through your coffee pucks. That combo with a funnel and a WDT is 100% the first thing you should go for. But what's happened is the puck navigator. So the guys that made the puck press have made this product. You might have seen that the last couple of weeks, but that is the first real commercial product that we could look to use in an espresso bar and have good timing to do that process because it takes so long. But these are pretty fast. You can see that the needles will basically go straight into the puck, so they're pretty cool. So I've been playing with that. It makes coffee better, there's no doubt. However, it all comes down to the grinder and the grind quality that you've got. So over here, we've got the Anthem SP2s that we run through our commercial side of the business and the cafes. I'd highly recommend using this with the SP2. But when you put it side by side to, let's say, a Swan grinder from Lamazocco, you don't need a WDT. So trying to find the grinder that can alleviate some of these problems would be the best scenario. So if you see just how light and fluffy this comes out. I haven't even touched this grinder at all. This is from yesterday. I literally turned it all on. Look how light and fluffy that is. That's a 22.5 gram dose. It's just huge. So no clumping. You know, if anything, we've got to try and settle this better so that we can deal with it in a coffee puck. But you can see there's just no clumping at all. So you would use your NCD for sure to distribute that. It needs to be reset, probably this NCD for that amount of volume. But there you go. Tamp that up. Versus your Anthem SP2. Which, if you can see in there, little balls, bit of clumping going on. So even if we do use a dosing pot, whoop, and spill it, which it's meant to do, but you can see there are some little balls and things happening there. So if you put your puck on, yeah, puck navigator I should say, and get it to go. Oh, that was only on the easy, the first setting there, so I only did it a couple of times, but I probably recommend going across to SPD. And that should, oh. No, maybe it's, which one's the 8? SPD, must be the other one. Standard?
Can't remember. Been a couple of weeks since we played with it.
Yeah.
Usually play with it a
2,
bit more.
3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so 6, there you go. So you can have 4, 6 or 8 of those directional changes on the tool, and that's going to get rid of those clumps, increase your flow rate, getting you more TDS. So if we run these 2 shots side by side, there you go, so very different shots. You can see how light and pale this one is. This one's actually quite dark and quite rich. Getting a lot of crema, and you can see that the flow rate's really starting to get quite fast and wobbly towards the end of the shot, and this one didn't actually even really get too fast, but you can see it's ended up pale. It was dark and rich at the start. We've got a full shot coming through here. This one, from memory, was the second one I did, wasn't it, with the puck navigator? Yeah, and that's the Swan grinder there. So totally different shots, same volumes, same recipes, just one standard one with the NCD. Now I don't know what beans are actually in the other grinder there at the moment with the Swan. I'm suspecting it's something different because of that colour, but let me just do one more and just see. Do you know what beans these are in here?
The champion.
It is champ as well?
Like
Oh, okay, so it's quite,
6.
the 6. Okay, so we've got a more aged bean in here at the minute.
Hey, Silly. Good mate.
So we've basically got perfectly aged coffee versus, so 3-week-old versus, well, probably 4-week-old versus 2-week-old coffee. Let's just see if anything changes in that second extraction. No, so it's old. See how it's just coming out. Yeah, older coffee. Yeah, you might get that at home every single day. Might just be what happens. Old coffee reacts a lot differently to fresh coffee. That is a little bit better of a shot, but not as good. Not at all. So try and keep that window of coffee between sort of 10 and 20 days, and you're going to allow that coffee to expand, have a little bit of life to it, and give much better flavour.
Got a guy here said, I bought fresh beans over store-bought.
Yep.
Still can't dial it in, sour and acidic. Am I buying a bad batch of beans? Maybe you're using them too fresh.
Yeah, too fresh can be the issue for sure. A lot of people find that, but also depends on your settings on your machine. So people have too long of pre-infusions or no pre-infusion, or they might have the wrong bar pressure or the water temperature to actually match those beans. So if you've got a lighter roast, increase your temperature, and that's going to help get some of those sugars and sweetness out of there and reduce that sourness. Again, there's a whole range of different things: the speed, the time of how fast that water's going through there, what your whole extraction time is, or what your recipe is. So you'd want to have some of those answers, then start to work on them. But filling your whole basket up properly is the right thing. So knowing how many grams fit into each basket, and then you can start to play with your grind particle size to then get your right time. So usually what I say is whatever basket you've bought, so let's say it's a 7 gram single, we'd go about 2 grams more. So probably about 9 grams of coffee in there. If you've got an 18 gram, you should be able to fit a 20 in it. If you've got the 22.5, you could actually go, once you get a much bigger basket or bigger depth of the actual coffee puck, so in a 22 gram basket or even 25 gram basket, you can actually get away with just staying around that 22 or 22.5 is what we use. And then there's a lot of headroom in there, and that allows that coffee, because it's a thicker bed, to expand. So once you get those things out of the way, try and start with 9 bar pressure at the start. A little bit of a pre-infusion is pretty handy as well. Hello, how you going?
How are you?
Great.
You want to disrupt you?
No, you're all good. So we've got some new teams starting today. So yeah, we'll welcome them aboard, and that'll be a good fun moment. Yeah, so hopefully that's the key there. But if it is super light roast, that is what happens. You can get a lot of acidity and you won't get the sweetness out of that cup. So maybe that's not the kind of coffee for you. Maybe age a little bit, open up the bag, get some oxygen to it, and hopefully that helps you as well. So let's just come over here for a sec. Ryan's just run away. So let me see if there's any other questions for you. Hang on. Where are we at? I thought I bought best friends over broad stores. Yep.
Hey, how are you?
Here we go. Tried playing with everything on my Breville Barista Express. The amount of grind size, distributor tool, leveling tool, and can't build up pressure. Any advice? Pressure builds when closed. Oh, okay. Barista Express. The one thing about some of these auto grinder combos like this, so you've got obviously your dual boiler, and then you've got your grinders built in. A lot of them don't grind fine enough for what we actually need. So that's the first thing. You can look and see if you shim your grinder to then change the burst set, raising it up or lowering it down to get a more finer grind on them. It's pretty common across a lot of these different machines. But the thing I find with Breville's is their pre-infusion. So their pre-infusion, I don't like. I had a good play with the dual boiler here for a while, and I'm like, oh, it just keeps getting me this light sort of coffee and very under-extracted coffee, and it certainly had a very long time. But if you're watching that little pressure gauge that's happening, it's probably the pre-infusion can be set, and they randomly have them set for a long time, like 7 seconds or 9 seconds. So you want to bring that right back. So firstly, turn off pre-infusion, try and get 9 bar pressure straight onto that coffee. It'll soak the water, soak the coffee grinds a fair bit. Hopefully build up a little bit of pressure in that headroom, the difference between your coffee and the top of your shower screen. Build some pressure up there, and then that will hopefully brew and get you a much more richer shot. So the other question before about the light roast and so on, that's the other thing. If you've got pre-infusion, try and turn it off, because pre-infusion to me will bring in more sournesses and higher acidities. If you can get rid of that, you'll hopefully get that more thicker flavouring that's coming through. So hopefully that answered that question for you.
Where are you up to with the questions?
The next one about the Breville Express one there. So
Okay.
yeah.
So next question, what's the correct workflow for the iced latte?
Correct workflow for an iced latte. Yeah, sure. Any sweeteners? Ice first. I reckon ice first personally, because if you put anything else in first, it's just going to sit at the bottom and it's really hard to stir up. So I'm an icing first kind of guy, and then any sort of sweetness that you might have. So if you've got a caramel syrup or something like that, you can put it straight on the ice. If you've got sugar into your iced latte, I'd be putting your sugar into your espresso glass, whatever you're catching that container with. If you've got caramel latte or whatever that as well, you can pop that in there as well. That means that the espresso is going to help melt the sugar grains and then become easier through the whole drink, so the sweetened through the whole drink. That would be the easiest thing. And then you're just pouring one little cup that has all your sweetness and your espresso on top of your ice. Pop your milk on top and away you go. That's definitely the way to go. Finish it with cream or whatever you're going to do those things. But for us, that cream thing's really not happening anymore. Everyone really loves just the ice, the espresso and the milk here in Australia. So yeah, it's pretty popular.
Cool. Next question.
Yeah.
Is pre-infusion a bad thing? I have a Breville Barista Plus Express, sorry.
I would say if you're starting off, yes, just turn it off. I found their pre-infusions to be underwhelming in the way it works. It just brings a lot of lighter flavours and sourness or things into coffee, as opposed to the higher, heavier flavours that we're trying to get for sweetness. So yeah, that's what I would do until you understand what you're actually trying to achieve. I think their the pre-infusion profile on their machines is not not what I would normally look to do. A little bit of pre-infusion is okay, but not this real long thing on their gauges where they sort of even say it. There it is there. If you have a look on this one, see how they've got this really long pre-infusion here? That can be pre-infusing for like 7 or 8 seconds. It can just be a really long time. And if you don't have the right age coffee, if you've got an underfilled puck and all those other challenges, you're just going to be fighting against a lot of other issues. So turning it off and just getting a solid pressure first is the best way to start and understand what's happening. Get better pucks, get consistency in your pucks, change your grind. And then once you're really nailing that in and out every single day and happy with that flavor, then introduce pre-infusion. Because you've actually been trained on how to make a better puck to allow for back pressure on top of that puck where you can use the pre-infusion properly.
Yeah, so back to that question, Yusuf said, yeah, because no matter how fresh my coffee is, even when I grind it at the finest setting with the Breville Barista Express,
Yep.
I can only get a maximum pressure of around the 11 o'clock position.
Yeah, so shimming it up. We might be able to just actually come down to the tech section for a second. The boys will be able to probably explain that too, just as a quick little, service bay quiz section. Oh, hello, Mac and a coffee tech.
Hello, Artisti Coffee Roasters.
Hello, shimming you've got one pulled apart, shimming a Breville. What's it, what's the, semi kind of process? What do you got to do?
Well, take the burrs out, take the upper burr out, bottom burr out. Inside there is there's a felt washer, which everyone vacuums up. Don't vacuum up the felt washer.
Yeah.
There is a O-ring that goes over that center shaft that the lower burr sits on. You just add another not an O-ring, washer.
Yep.
Add another washer to it so the lower burr sits up a bit higher. That's it.
Any washer you can buy from anywhere, or a particular sort of 0.5 of a mil, 1 mil? What kind of looking for?
You find whatever you've got that fits over that center shaft that's
Okay.
so big.
And then just making sure that when you pop that back in, that you haven't raised it so high that this doesn't lock in and come down.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. There is also the internal setting in here.
Oh yeah, a lot of people forget about
Everyone
this.
does that.
Yeah.
You just pop out this and you can adjust that. There is little, there's little markings on there for coarser and finer. So this is like the fine tune adjustment. You don't really touch this until you've maxed out that.
Yep.
And if you've maxed out that to 1, then you adjust this. Then you would add that extra little.
Shim.
Yeah.
Or doing 11-second extractions, no matter how fine it goes. At max settings. So, that'd be step
I'll
1.
Take this guy out and put him into the finest setting, and then add an extra little washer in there, or get some new burrs.
Yep. That's a lock, isn't it? That locks
It is.
two together.
That locks them so they can't move.
Yeah, so if you're missing that little wire, it's super important.
Yeah, it is. It'll just free spin in there.
Yep. So
And
don't
it'll
lose
just
that
go
piece.
bzzz and not actually grind the beans. Yeah.
Easy. There you go. There's your hot tips. Hey, straight from the text. Probably, one of those things to consider when you're looking at buying a machine. Maybe find a company that is a tech company, because like appliance stores, that are just selling washers, dryers, and then all these other different things that then sell coffee machines. Maybe we'll just look this way for a bit, keep the guys in the bar getting ready. Oh, hello, boss. That's my boss just walking, hiding behind. If you're going to an appliance store or something like that, they don't know those little bits and pieces. So trying to support a specialty coffee roaster or someone that has a tech business in the back end, you're going to find a lot more about any machine. So you'll get understanding on how to actually care and look after one of your Italian-made machines, how to properly brew with a 61 group head, or talk about filtered water, all these different things. So there is a huge value to trying to buy your machine from someone that has a support network and knows a lot more about them, rather than just chasing the cheapest price. Like we're on end of financial year sale here in Australia at the moment, so a lot of people are trying to find the best deal possible. But every time we talk to somebody who's bought a machine, they've got no training, no support, and they're having a really bad outcome when they get home. So don't undervalue the fact that you could get training or could get support with any machine that you buy. I highly recommend doing some sort of training course when you pick up your machine. Go to a dealer, have a course, and you'll go home and actually make great coffee. We hear all too often have people get a machine home and they might have bought it on a Friday, and then they try and make coffee Saturday morning and it's terrible. They can't seem to do anything. They ask their mates and get through the weekend, and then Monday they just want to throw the thing in the bin. And it's really not about the actual machine, it's more about understanding the different type of machines that you have, whether you're trying to dial in your grinder properly, whether you've got the right beans, and all those conversations. So support when you buy a machine is 100% the key to buying the right machine for yourself. So yeah.
Cool. I was actually going to pull that TCA out of there, Luke, and set it up here and make the coffee. I might do that. You can continue to yak away if you want. Here's another question for you.
Yeah. You want to pull it out and you want to make coffee on it, yeah?
I reckon.
Yeah, let's do it.
How many grams of coffee should we take for a standard iced latte?
That's all about your brew recipe of coffee to milk. So we use, in the larger size, we use 3 shots. In a smaller one, we use 2. So it's pretty much the same in alignment that you'd have with your different sized dine-in cups. So, sorry, not dine-ins, takeaways I should say. So yeah, you've got your 16s, your 12s and your 8s. So you'll have some sort of recipe in that. And then when you've got your bigger ones, these are a little bit larger from memory. That's 500 mil. If I correctly remember, these are 400 and, oh, it doesn't tell me. 16 ounce conversion, 430, 480, 483, I think, from memory. So a little bit more. So we just try and follow that same guide. And if you're getting like a little small one, same as an 8 ounce. So we do a double ristretto in that one. Yeah. So same ratios as hot beverages. And then if you get really big, as long as you're not trying to add lots of sugar into them, you can stay with the same recipes. But have a look at our guide. Jimmy's done the whole cold brew, cold drink guide. He covered off those 100%. I think he's done it in the full menu guide video, but also in the actual just cold drinks guide as well. So there's a downloadable PDF on that one through our YouTube video. So look in the description, you'll find that, and hopefully that helps you get through that one for sure. Question. All right, what other questions have we got here? Looking. It would work on the go, like on a trailer food truck kind of setup. Ooh, Gab, I missed your first question. Where's Gab's first question? Nope, lost it, can't see it. Sorry, Gab, I'm not quite sure where you're trying to piece that one together. All right. G'day, Quids. No worries, happy to make videos for you guys. We love doing it, it's always good fun, love sharing what's going on. Hey, probably one of the coolest little videos which is just going out at the moment, and a bit of a shout out to good old Lance. This is the most popular selling coffee machine at the moment. This is the Quick Mill pop-up. Now, it's a single boiler machine. What makes it so outstanding is certainly Italian built, the price, all the features of flow control, and we've got some sort of digital processing on a single boiler machine. A lot of the other machines like the Pippa here, or you might have had a Rancilio Silvia, where you're flicking buttons on and off to turn on the element, or brew temperature water, or brew or steam temperature of the water, and have to allocate all those different types of things. There's heaps of other machines out there, ECM Maker machine, the Prophetic Go, all that kind of stuff, right? So when you put that all into a market, you are the brain, and this is what I like to explain to people. You're flicking switches to make things happen all the time, where now the Quick Mill pop-up here has a PID in it. It'll show on the display here what you're doing for your brew temperature for water, which will be usually 94 degrees. And that's what happens when you hit your brew button. When you go to hit steam, it automatically makes it up to 125, but you can actually change that because of the PID in it. It'll start to brew the water, or boil the water up to get to steam pressure. Take out a little bit of water out of your steam wand, and then you can make your coffee. But at the same time, you've got a shot timer, and you've got your variable pressure flow to your puck. So good. Blackened timber, whitened timber, stainless steel, for under the $2,000 in Australia. But yeah, Lance just did a video yesterday, which is great video. It really goes a lot more in depth, all the tech, and he puts the scase and the temperatures on it. It seems to be performing really well. So yeah, look out for that machine. Highly recommend it. yeah, it's definitely the challenges around the industry and maybe the economy at the moment. People still want to have a great coffee at home. They want to invest in that sort of future where they can get their lower cost per cup by not having to maybe go out and have 4 or 5 at a cafe every single day. You can have one at home and then one at cafes with your workmates maybe, or at lunch or something. But the home market's definitely growing, and that is definitely a machine to look at. But just remember, any of these machines have to have a grinder with them. You can't buy pre-ground coffee. You're not going to be able to dial in and get a good recipe. You won't be getting any back pressure on your pump. And especially if you're even thinking about using your flow control here, you have to have a perfectly dialed in grind and dose before you start to play with flow control. So check that machine out. Pretty cool.
Cool. Gab says, that was my first question, sorry.
Oh,
So
why did I read it wrong?
the question, it would work on the go like on a trailer or a food truck kind of setup, question mark. So what
What's your
is it,
reference part?
yeah, just let us know what machine or grinder you were talking about. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I kind of missed
what
that
you were talking
timing.
to.
I think
Yeah,
what we were talking
anyway.
about when you put that question in. Sorry?
Let us know, we'll give you the answer to that question.
Yeah.
Is it okay to change the steam wand of a DeLonghi Dedica?
You can try changing steam wands on any of them. You can probably change the tip, but probably wouldn't change the whole wand. So the way any machine works is about the capacity of steam that they have in the boiler and how quickly that they can release that. So if you're going to increase that actual tube size and then have it release really quick, you might just get a big blast of steam out, but then it won't be able to recover and catch up by boiling the water and creating the steam capacity again. So probably not. I wouldn't normally go down that path, but tips is fine, but not the whole pipe. Yeah, you can cause yourself a few problems there. You can
Okay, cool.
basically, yeah, lose all the steam really quickly.
Quid said, wow, I made a live stream. Thanks for all the videos over the years.
Yeah, no worries,
Cool.
pleasure. Yeah, love having you guys on board.
Nice to have you here.
Yeah, this is pretty late at night. Do you think we need to be a little bit earlier? What's better for live stream? If you've got a question, yeah, just let us know. Yeah.
Late at night for.
Late, oh, it is
there's
in
no
the
good
States.
time, is
Yeah,
there?
no,
You know?
that's it. Yeah. So it's usually
So you
7.
can always come back and rewatch it.
Yeah, 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning for us here.
Joel Alexander said, looking for a quick heat up time and simultaneous steam shot. So what do you think of the Profitec Pro 300?
Haven't played with it yet. I'm sorry. Yeah, but I think that sounds similar to these sort of single boiler machines that heat up pretty quick. Smaller boilers, 450 odd mil boilers heat up pretty quick.
Yep.
Yep.
Sometimes I'm unable to get the perfect steam milk following the same methods.
Okay. I mean, milk. People think milk varies a lot, but it's usually pretty good, pretty close. Unless it's really, really old milk, it's harder to froth, so fresher milk's definitely better. And then it's just, yeah, if you're following the same process, getting the spin, getting the hiss, is your machine up to full steam pressure before you start? That's probably the first thing. If you're trying to use a really, really big jug on a smaller machine, the capacity that machine has might not be able to keep that milk moving and you're really bleeding it right out. And then the element's not big enough to heat the water back up to create bigger steam. So you might actually have a varying pressure that's happening in that steam process. So trying to match your, I guess the size and value of your machine to a jug size is probably better. So if you're expecting a smaller machine to do really, really big jugs, you might struggle. So maybe, yeah, try with a smaller jug, smaller cup, see if you can get a consistent steam pressure coming all the way through. Look at your gauge as well. So on most machines, you'll see a steam gauge, which is down the front here on these machines. And if you've got 2 gauges, just to explain that to you, one gauge here that goes up to usually 3 is the pressure of your boiler. So this one here is going 0 to 3, and you can see 1.5 is usually where they're going to sit. That's 1.5 bar of steam pressure. Once it goes past that in the red, it means there's something wrong, so you want to get your machine serviced. But if you've got a second gauge or a dual gauge, that one's really hard to read. Here we go, the ECM here, the Heritage line would be great. So if you've got 2 gauges like this is the steam because it's going from 0 to 3. And if you look at the other one going from 0 to 16, that is pump pressure. So that's how you can tell the differences between the two. So if you've got basically a steam pressure of 1.5 and you start steaming and it drops down to 1 rapidly or below 1, you've got nothing. It's really hard to have any sort of frothing with a pressure below 1. So you might have exhausted it all out. Maybe if you're purging, get the water out and then just wait a little bit, let it catch back up.
Nice looking machines, those ECMs, by the way.
Yeah, the Heritage line is fantastic. Really unique little touches to them. Beautiful machine. Just carries across the whole range there. So, yeah, if you're looking for one of these machines, yeah, jump on board. They're on sale here on the end of financial year. Definitely worth looking at. Just little nice touches with that satin sort of finish on the metal rather than as much polished chrome that can be a little bit hard to keep clean sometimes. And you've got the anthracite finish all along the sides there, which it's stainless steel underneath, so it is protected as well. If you buy the C, look for a machine that is a full stainless steel machine. That's really good piece of advice for you. We're right near the ocean, and servicing machines for so many years, we do find the chassis do rust out over time. The rest of the machine can still be working, but unfortunately with a rusty chassis, that's a bit of a problem. So yeah, try and get a stainless steel one. Yeah, 2-year warranty on these beasts. The Synchronic has definitely been a hero for so many years and still continues to be. The Heritage line here does have the turn taps. So some people like a flick lever and others don't. For me, probably the only defining difference between them is a lot of people think I'll vary my steam pressure with this because I'm learning or I'm trying to get up to, build up the skill level. But it's really not the reason why you have this. If you go on a lower steam pressure, your milk isn't going to work as well. And you're varying your steam pressure, which actually makes it harder to froth and get a consistency in the bubble size and the microfoam you're trying to get. So it's kind of an all-on, all-off scenario. The only reason I would not go personally for a lever is this one over here to show you. So usually with kids and parents, people, a lot of parents, new parents buy a coffee machine for home because the mum's maybe at home for a little bit longer and not able to get out and have a coffee. But if you've got a flick lever like that and your child is tall enough to be able to grab it and you flick that down, unfortunately that'll just pump hot water straight on top of your child. So that's probably the only safety issue. Same with steam as well. You can get steam on it, but a turn dial, there's no way they're going to get to that. So just a little safety tip there when you're considering the machine. But they are all on or all off. So that's the main difference as opposed to, yeah, the slow turn. There you go. What else? Come on.
Best prosumer machine up to 1100 US. So what's that, about $2,000 Australian? Dual boiler / heat exchanger.
Yeah, $2,000. This way. HX. If you can get into HX, definitely the way to go. The Lelit, the MaraX here is packed with value. So you've got your same size boilers that you're going to have in all the other machines, which is great at this sort of entry level. But what the MaraX does is they give you a full range of accessories and timber finishes. You can have them in black like this, you can have them in white, or you can have them in stainless steel with timber. So fully optioned, and the price point of those is fantastic. $2,500 for fully on sale.
That's Australian. I don't know what
Australian.
that works out to US.
Yeah, so that'd be about right. But 2,800 Australian. What's that? Probably maybe more like 1,400 or something US or something like that.
Yeah.
But the stainless steel model will be a little bit cheaper as well. But a lot of the stainless steel machines that you get from other manufacturers are still more expensive than the fully optioned timber and white options in the MaraX. It's cute, it's tiny, you've got a great water tank. The attention to detail on these is fantastic. So, you've got full softening and filtration options inside the tanks. You've got like date dials for your water on the top or your filters there as well, which is really cool. So just so many little details that are put into these machines. And they really think about the experience of the person using them at home, because a lot of machines with a vibration pump is what these do have a bit of a vibration to them, but everything is stopped with rubber stoppers. So see this here, these sit on rubber stoppers. Even the water tank itself has these little rubbers in the corners to make sure it doesn't vibrate as well, where some other manufacturers will just pop a piece of metal on metal straight up. Again, in the drip tray you see it. There you go, rubber stoppers all the way around. Just those little touches that, great value, absolutely phenomenal value. 2-year warranty, coming out of Italy. The internals are fantastic in them, and you can actually change the internal So it's not full PID control, which a lot of people think PID, but it is a setting inside here. You can change the 2 settings. So I think you can change the bar pressure from like 1 bar up to 1.1 or 1.2. So there is a higher steam or a lower steam option in here that you can do. So banging machine, absolutely fantastic for that kind of value.
Gillian wants to know, do you have any BFC machines? What do you think about brands that focus on commercial equipment but also provide a few home used machines, user machines?
Don't know that one, BFC.
Not sure what that is either.
No.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, there was a BCF machine that we came across the other day.
Really?
And I had to look into it, and it's funny because BCF is a boating, camping and fishing store here in Australia. And yeah, anyway, didn't know anything about it, but very different. Anyway, hey, have a look at this little room here. It's an absolute mess, but this is going to be all rebuilt for some cool stuff. So really excited about that. Probably about a month and a half away from talking you through that machine, what's going to happen in that room. So yeah, really excited about it. You wanted to make a coffee on this? Is that what you wanted to do?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yep. What coffee do you want? What would you like to make?
Anyone got any suggestions? What should Luke make on this little Rocket Appartamento TCA?
TCA, yeah.
Very cool little machine, hey?
They are. There you go. That bench is just a little bit unlevel, so you can drop the feet down nicely, which is great. They've got these nice big size feet on them, which is handy and easy to do. Hot handles is the key. So a lot of people have a HX and they think, oh, I've got to make coffee quickly. How do I do it? Heat your handle up, run some water through your HX through the group, the E61 group here, and through the HX piping so that you can get that all hot. Keep your handle in, and you can pretty much make a coffee now. It's not the hottest, but it'll get there for sure. But if you're in a hurry, you can make a coffee pretty quick. We've got the grinder to turn on there.
Let's just go with Flatty.
Flatty. We can go a recipe, or we're just going to guess it? We're going to wing it.
Just wing.
Wing it. Let's wing. All right, let's wing it. All right.
Eyeball it.
Eyeball it. All right, let's do this. So if you have to fill up a basket, if you get 2/3 full, give it a bit of a collapse. Start to rotate your grind all the way around. And another tap. Fill it up to a little mound, just like that. I reckon that is how you can fill your basket. Give it a little bit of a level out. Now that dose would be pretty close. So if you didn't have scales, you didn't have anything, that's how I would fill a basket. It's what we used to do in cafes many years ago before we got into any of this stuff. When we started having grinders that would dose straight in, that's how you do it. You'd fill it up, tap a couple of times, rotate the basket, get it full, scoop your finger off, and then you'd tamp away. So we've got our little kit here from Rocket. We'll do a little bit of a WDT. I don't have a funnel.
Oh yeah, I'll grab you
Need a funnel. Yeah, need a funnel. They do get a little bit fluffy and a little bit messy when you do use WDT, so you definitely want to have a funnel to make sure you're not going to put mess everywhere. There you go. These are beautiful. These are really nice little funnels, these little Rocket ones. Magnetized to sit on your basket there as well. So give it a good little go around the bottom, so you can touch the actual bottom of the basket, come up halfway. And this is basically like sieving flour. If you're a baker, you'll get this really easily and understand. There's a hair, that's weird. Actually, that's a bit of a coffee sack, actually. Sometimes they do get through. There you go. So doing the top now and circle rotations. We don't want to go forward and backwards. So get your needling done. Just give it one tap, flat and level. Pop it in. Cool little distributors. These are the little 2-in-1 rockets. So we distribute it, popping it on first. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we've height adjusted this side as well, so we're not tamping this coffee, but this side is a flat tamper, and that's been height adjusted to give us the exact tamp as well. So pop that in, a little bit of a turn, and you're good. So having the right adjustments for your basket is key as well. You don't want your distributor to be pushing down on that coffee too much. So setting them up is going to be the key. So we'll pop this in. We're going to, actually before with every HX you do want to flush. Now I've absolutely trashed this and I'll show you why. If you're worried about how much dose you have in your basket, if you're locking your handle and then you've caught the actual top of the shower screen, this is what's going to happen. You'll get the grind all come out. So it's actually too high a dose for that technically. We want to be a little bit lower. You could redose, you could try and do this kind of stuff to it all, but essentially it's already too low now because the concave of the shower screen has wrecked it. And yeah, you wouldn't want to brew with that at all. You've got some water in there, that'd be absolutely painful. So
Start again.
small little mistake, but definitely want to flush your heat exchange before you start to brew with coffee. That will get the water more steady and won't have a hot spot, hopefully, on that heat exchange when you start. So start again.
You meant to do that on purpose, didn't you, Luke? Just
I did.
to show people that?
Great training, you know. What is it? Make a mistake and just keep on rolling. So again, just watching this one, grinding up, getting it about a third full, bit of a tap, and then rotate. Get that coffee out around the outside. Another tap, stop it. We've got ourselves a little mound. Tap it to get it level. All right, these little clumps here, we do want to work on them with our WDT. So those little balls is what you want to get rid of. It'll increase your flow rate, get more consistency in the water passing through each grind particle size.
Sherry said, doesn't WDTing it deep to less deep still create pockets of air?
Oh, it can do. But look, everyone has their own little ideas and techniques on it. You just want to make sure that you're doing the whole bed of coffee. Some people only do the top, and some people only do the bottom, but just make sure you get it well done all the way through. Yeah. So again, pop it on, 1, 2, 3, flip her over, tamp it,
It's called a temp
clean
station,
it up.
isn't it?
It is. This is really nice. Good rubber, well thought out because of the way that these are facing. They face the wrong way, so you can't put them on a bench. So you do need a tamp station for most group handles like this. Now, a lot of people say, oh, I'll just turn it around. Well, the problem you have is it's designed so that the cups will sit forward, usually because the drip tray is a little bit short. So if you start turning it around, your cups are going to be off the edge because of the drip tray in the machine. So just check that if you go try and turning them around. So I did it again. I didn't flash the group.
Oh my gosh.
Gee whiz.
Just go. Let's run.
Let's go. Let's roll. All right. So
You flushed it before.
I did flash it before. On, and then to line bar pressure, and then back up. That's kind of what we were talking about earlier on about pre-infusion. I do want to wet the puck with a nice heavy. Could you change those beans? Or are they the beans that have been on the display?
They're a bit old. They come out pretty hot, didn't it?
They came out fast. So yeah, the grinders here, we basically put beans in them to make them look nice and pretty. That is super old coffee. So if you do get an extraction like that, you can see it's just one color all the way through. Your beans are aged, they're old. Look, that's not going to be super tasty, but hey, we can't always make perfect coffee every time. We've got to show you some of the issues you might face at home. I'm going to get a little bit of milk. Good morning, Prakash. Good, thank you. Yourself? So, I guess this is reality. It's what you might experience when you buy a new machine and you get home, or you've got old beans, you know, some of those challenges. We want to purge first, get that water out for sure. And look, a lot of people start playing with angles on jugs and do all this crazy stuff, but just keep the jug flat and level. Pop the spout into the steam wand like that. If you're on the left-hand side of your machine, have your tip just under the liquid like that, and off to the side, turn it on, and hey presto, it'll start to spin. Look at that. And then just slide it down, keeping that locked in to get the hiss, which is introducing the air into the milk. It's going to start to rise up. Once it's warm or 40 degrees, lift it up to get no hiss. I can't really see what's going on.
It's a full demonstration of what not to do, isn't it?
I was trying to look through the screen, but I couldn't quite see. So the key there is keep it spinning the whole time. Once you get to 40 degrees, you want to stop getting your hiss. You want to then have time to fold that back into the milk, and then you'll get your milk like this. Now let it sit. Okay, there was a few bubbles there. Like I said, I couldn't really see, but let them sit there. Then tap them out, and you might get a few little milk fireworks, which is fine. Then give it a swirl, and you'll find the gloss come back. A lot of people play with their milk really quickly, and they don't get it back to glossy. And to assess your milk, look up the side of the jug. Okay, and you can see the bubbles, the big ones, the small ones. That's just the hiss consistency that you've had throughout your milk. And we've got our espresso here. Let's give a bit of a swirl first, break that crema up. Tilt your cup as much as you can. You don't want to go down the edge of the cup like a slide. The foam will just go across the whole top of the cup. That's probably the biggest tip I can tell everyone. You want to go into the espresso by tilting it. You've got a much deeper volume of espresso there. So if you've got a really big, deep, high cup, definitely have it on a huge angle. We're going to pour in quite fast, get around the cup twice, come back to the middle and go low, and you'll see the foam come out, lift up and go away from you, and you'll pour yourself a beautiful little heart. There you go. So pretty simple, pretty easy. I guess something you might experience when you do get your new machine or have old beans. So what would I do from here? Definitely get some fresher beans. That would be the number one thing. There's not a lot you can do there, but if you do have a bag of old beans, you're just trying to get through it, just increase your dose a little bit. Don't have it as low a dose because the coffee bed itself won't expand as much when you get water to it. That was quite wet and sloppy because it didn't expand as much, and it is quite soft and sloppy. So I would be filling more coffee in here, going as fine as I can to try and get more out of that coffee being aged.
Rocket have a promo on at the moment, which is about to end.
They do. Here in Australia, you can win one of these grinders. You've got about, what's today, the 26th?
26, I think.
Yeah, 4 more days to get yourself in the running to win a free grinder. So you can buy one of these, any Rocket machine, you'll go into the draw to win. If you do buy a machine and grinder combo, still enter the draw because they'll give you a full accessories pack if you win. So it's fantastic, yeah. So great opportunity. Beautiful machines, super well made, and yeah, been around for many years, and definitely, you know, a very desirable machine for people to have at home. So yeah, any other questions?
Someone wants to know if you can make an iced latte for us and show them the steps. They must be, I guess, in the northern hemisphere. It's
Yeah, it's pretty cold. It's pretty warm over there. Yeah, we've got to remember that.
we could jump in the bar and get.
Oh, there is one. There's one here. Let's do it. Iced vanilla latte. Look at this. All right, so we do right on the cup, nice and easy, so you can see what's going on. So ice first. Cool, good amount of ice. So it's vanilla and it's strong. So have you got the shot for the vanilla latte yet? No, easy. So we'll do that over here. So pop our vanilla in first. Like so. Alright. So same recipe. We've got the extra shot there from the last one, which I'll use in this as well. So again, no WDT, we just use the NCD to do some sort of leveling and distributing in that coffee bed. Catch cups, clean workspace. Oh, what am I doing? Grabbed the wrong one. I wanted it to be in that one there. So yeah, get your espresso onto your syrup or onto your sugar so that you could melt that sugar, stir it all up. So that's for those. I'm just going to put on another shot there to keep the workflow going for the team here. Well, that one's done. Another cloth. And strong. There you go. Okay, so we've got our espresso that has our syrup in it. We've got our other espresso shot. It was on. Oh, now it's black. Iced latte. Vanilla. Strong. It's on full cream milk. Here's the magic. Iced latte. There you go. Yeah, watch it live on YouTube. Now, a little debate there. I don't like to stir it all up and have it throughout the whole cup. The reason is when you get a nice latte, you can see how strong it is in different levels. Some people might not want that heavy espresso at the start. Some people may love it. So for me, I want to taste that espresso. So I want to have a really good suck of that really intense espresso. But if they don't like it, they can just give it a stir up with their own little straw and then make it all the way through. But just a nice little 1 or 2 little swirls for me, that's what I would normally do. Hope that answers your question. There you go. Is that about it? Any other questions?
So Gab said, I have a Chimbali M23, bit old. I'm using coffee that is being ground too fine, like 1.5 on my Cortado grinder. The
Yep.
flavour though, starry eyes, so it must be good. But filter basket holes get a bit of coffee stuck in. Any ideas? I've already tried to go coarse and increase the coffee amount, but even with tweaks, it doesn't get a near good result. Not entirely sure what the...
It depends on the what your recipe actually is and how fast that's going through. If you've got super fines coming from your grinder, that's probably an issue. So maybe it's an older grinder, it needs a new set of burrs in it that might fix it. But yeah, I don't know exactly what we're trying to work on there. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, cool. That's about it, mate.
Cool.
So we might have to wrap it up.
Wrap it up. All right. Well, thanks very much, everyone, for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Hope I did entertain you. We try to. But your questions will make it certainly more enjoyable. You've got the opportunity to ask any question. We'll take you through anywhere through the business. So if you want to know about roasting, if you want to have a barista tip or whatever it might be, or a cafe thing, use this time to think ahead and ask us some questions. Happy to answer them. So I know I won't be on next week, but Ryan will probably maybe look to do that, maybe with Jimmy, whoever's around on a live. And yeah, look forward to catching you soon. Hope you have a great day. Enjoy, well, or a good sleep, you know, if you're here very late at night. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, everyone. Cheers. Bye.